Testing 1, 2, test, test. So can you say, we cannot hear what you're saying. Hi, John. What session will be available to watch later? I seem to be having trouble with the audio. Everybody's having audio problems. Can you hear me now? All right. Can you hear me now? Test. I think the audio might be working. Could somebody like ask a question by saying, yes, I can hear you now? I think I just figured out my audio issue. Testing 1, 2. There's also a chat. Anybody want to put something in the chat? No? Q&A? We can hear you. All right. Thank you. I apologize for John's class guy would know how to do this. I'm going to start over here. Hi, I'm Jon Bergmann, one of the pioneers of flipped learning, and excited actually about a new series of books that Aaron Sams and I have written. We have written a whole new series of books on the subject. So flipped learning for English, flipped learning for science, separate books, right? Flipped learning for social studies. There's one for math, and exciting to announce that flipped learning for elementary classroom came out today. So I haven't even seen a copy, but I'm told they're shipping today. I think officially the date is February 1st, but that's just a few days away. So encourage you to pick up a copy if you're an elementary teacher or know an elementary teacher. So I'm going to go back and talk briefly about what I was headed to. You know, as I have thought about flipped classroom a lot, you know, this is sort of what I do now for a living, is to help people with flipped classroom. I believe there's 4 hurdles that you need to overcome. Here, I'll share a screen here, and we'll sort of restart what I was doing. And the 4 hurdles to flip the class. Okay, so what is it that you need to overcome when you're flipping your classroom? So I don't know whom you guys are, if you're teachers, if you're administrators, if you're corporate trainers. I've kind of got a lot of people who are thinking about what this looks like. But the most important of all the hurdles, and you kind of see it in the screen here, is to flip the thinking of class time. This is so important. It's a mindset question. We need to convince people, teachers, trainers, whoever it might be, we need to convince them that what really makes a difference is to rethink what happens to class. You see, the flipped classroom starts with one simple question. And that question is, what is the best use of your face-to-face class time? Now, I'm going to argue it's not you standing up and doing the presentation thing. It's something else. It's going to be about deeper cognitive tasks happening in the class. That's what makes the big difference in the class. So I encourage you to ask that question. What's the best use of your face-to-face class time? And the second hurdle that I see people need to overcome is training. There's ways that you can flip a class that are poor. There's ways that you can flip a class that are done well. So there's effective strategies for flipping the class. In this hour that we have, I don't know that we'll have too much time. We can deal with some of those questions, but to go through all of the effective strategies is not something that can be done necessarily in an hour. I actually find the ideal time that it takes for someone to kind of really learn to effectively flip their class, I know this may sound crazy, but it's like 2 days. When I go and I work with a school and I spend 2 days with a team of teachers, what I find is by the end of those 2 days, they are ready to flip their class. Now, they still need some follow-up. So actually, in ideal situations, I work with a school for a couple of days, and, you know, group of teachers. I come back a month later, another month later. So think like 4 or 5 visits in a year. And by the end of that, we have seen just radical transformation of those classrooms and those teachers. You know, so this is just sort of a snippet of the big picture. This is the 30,000-foot view. But there's lots of resources out there. You don't have to necessarily, you know, have me do the training. There's many people training and talking about flipped learning all over the world. We can even talk about that. So we've got those. The third hurdle, this is the one I think the third hurdle is time. I hear over and over from educators all over the world that they're saying, I don't have enough time to flip my class. I'm too busy. Where will I find the time? And the answer is, I don't know. I don't know if I have any administrators in the audience, but if you are an administrator, I would encourage you to think about this. more globally, because as you give your teachers time, you will find that they can do this. I mean, time is what administrator has the keys to. Can you carve out time? Can you make this a priority of their school? I know administrators who've given more time to their teachers in creative ways. So for example, actually I'm visiting with a principal in about an hour in Texas, and he has seen significant improvement in his school because of flipped learning. But it is because he gives his teachers, I may have the number wrong, but like 42 minutes every day to work collaboratively together to create flipped environments in their classrooms. So it's important that you figure out the time puzzle. So when Aaron Sams and I did this, 10 years ago, what we did? We just made time. So I can't help you with time. The reality is a lot of this is, as I like to say, is just plain simple hard work. Hard work is what it is. So how do I get you more time? I don't know. It's just a lot of work. But I think what a lot of people are very interested in also is the fourth T, if you will, the fourth hurdle. And the fourth hurdle is technology. What do you need to do in order to do the technology piece? First of all, just as you're probably well aware, again, there's sort of the time word there. As you're learning some of the tech of flipped classroom, it takes time to learn. And there's a learning curve, and I guess that's something we just have to work through. The beauty is I'm excited about the tools of the flipped classroom from a technological perspective. That these software manufacturers, the hardware manufacturers, are actually using nicer tools, simpler tools that make the whole flipped classroom experience much, much easier. So let me just say this. I believe there's 4 tools to flip your class. 4 key elements that you need to have when you flip your class. The first one is here's the technology. The first one is video creation tools. Some kind of a tool that will help you create a video hosting tool, a video interaction tool, and a learning management system. Now, these are the types of tools. Now you say, well, wait a second, what? Let me share with you. I'm gonna move something around here. Hold on, give me a second. John, where's the, I know I have to go down here. Sorry, I'm gonna take you to my website, to jonbergmann.com. And at jonbergmann.com, actually jonbergmann.com/tools, and I've got sort of learn, here's the tools, right? So if you look at the tools, there's the video creation tools, the video hosting tools, the video interaction tools, and learning management systems. So if I click on video creation tools, I list off some of the different video creation tools that can be used for flipping your classroom, right? So, often this depends. So I'm not giving you any specific recommendations on tools. There's ones I like and don't like, but these are the tools that I see teachers using to flip their class. And I've broken them down by content area or by a device type, a PC, Macintosh, or a tablet device, iOS. Some of these also work both ways on Android devices, etc. And so you need some way to create a video, don't you? And so it's important to have some sort of a video creation tool. What did I just do? I didn't want to do that. Sorry about that. It doesn't go anywhere. John's learning about his own website and why sometimes it doesn't work. All right. The second tool is a hosting tool. Now, hosting tools. This is a very short page. You can post to like YouTube or TeacherTube or even to your learning management system or Google Drive, or there's a million different places to post videos. And I think it's important that you pick one that works in your IT infrastructure. Is YouTube blocked in your school? So maybe YouTube's not the right choice. There's so many answers where this is. And again, when I go and I work with a school or a school district, what I find is the tools, the video hosting tool, what makes a difference is, your IT infrastructure. So I can't answer this question, but I do give recommendations when I learn about your IT infrastructure. That's sort of the key. Yeah, there you go. Someone's got the tools link. Thanks, Peggy. And then It also, that's that tool. I'm going to walk you through each of these video interaction tools. Now, these are some tools that are, I think, the most exciting of all the tools, if you will. There's now programs, if you will, that allow you to, how do I say this? That allow you to collect data. It creates kind of an accountability thing. So think of it this way. Here, I'm going to go back to my face. A student is watching a video, and as the video plays, the video pauses. And you, the teacher, have specified when it will pause. And then up pops a question. And then, of course, the questions pops up, and then students type the response. Or sometimes even draw the response, like on a tablet device. And then that's at 1 minute, 2 minutes, and 4 minutes. And what you collect on the other end as a teacher is you collect the data. So you know who's watched the video, how long they've watched the video, and then what the results are. So let me share with you one of those tools. So I like lots of these tools, so I'm not giving an endorsement to any one tool. So kind of hear me carefully on this. I have recommended every one of these tools to different schools depending upon their IT infrastructure. So even though I'm going to show you one, don't feel like I think this is the best one. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Office Mix site. So it's mix.office.com. Mix is a PowerPoint add-in. I'm a fan. I think this is a great one. So I'm going to sign in. I've created accounts, right? Sign in with my Microsoft account. There I am. I can go to my mixes. So I'm now viewing it from the sort of the teacher perspective. I've used these for a number of different PD sessions, if you will, with students, with teachers during PD session. I'm trying to find one where I've got lots of data. Give me a moment here to find one with some good interactions. By the way, I can see right here 12 people have interacted with this. This was a small workshop I did with what's called the Liechtenstein Institute. Here's one with 97. All right, 97 different people did this one. Okay, so I've got some good data on this one. So I can click here on analytics, right? I'm looking at it from the teacher's perspective, if you will, right? And I'm going to see what I can see. Oh, it's loading. And so it's a PowerPoint presentation that has multiple slides, and actually here are the slides. Okay, these are the slides that I had people watch. It looks like it's, a dozen slides long. Okay, I can now look at the visitors. Okay, maybe I didn't have 97 people do this. It looks like only one. Okay, so I've chosen a one that is incorrect. But anyways, I can look at what Andrew did, and Andrew only did 5% of the assignment, and he got 0% correct. So I must have done something. Only 2 visitors. So I must have. Anyways, I picked the wrong one. I'm sorry, but you get the idea. Is that this? I know this about Andrew and what he did and didn't do. And I can even look at the questions, and Andrew didn't even answer the questions. Right here, I would see the responses to the questions. Let me see if I can find one with some greater data. I think there was one, especially here. I'm about to do a whole new one for that I'm going to use for FlipCon UK. So if you're a UK person, by the way, United Kingdom person, this is because I also put some. Sorry. Let's just look at this one. See if I have visitors. All right, okay, here we go. Look at this. All right, so here we have, I don't know, we got a dozen people who've given responses, and Henry has done 100%, and he got 0% correct. It turns out most people get 0% correct on my assignments because I don't ask multiple choice questions. I have to ask open-ended questions, and because I'm asking open-ended questions, that's what makes a difference. So Office Mix does this. Actually, I'll show you one more. I'm gonna go to Educanon. Educanon is another one of these tools. I think I've got some pretty good data right here. Log in. Here we are. Remembers who I am. And I think I've got, oh yeah, so I have 171 active students, so to speak. I can now look at my students. I can manage students, et cetera, et cetera. But actually, let me show you the build. When you're building one of these tools, I think it's going slow, sorry. I think it's trying to do a Google Hangout and at the same time doing a surf the net. And actually, I'm backing my computer up at the same time. Probably shouldn't be doing all these things at once. John's gonna pause this right here. The backup thing, okay. Yeah. Okay, wait. So I want to go here though. All right, there we go. All right, so here is a video. There we go. See, there we go. This is what I was looking for. Train in the background. Here are the different students, and then the greens are the ones they got correct, and then I can see how many minutes they spent on a particular question, what percentage they got right. Green, of course, is good, and red is not. Again, I ask a lot of open-ended questions, so I could essentially grade these, but this is the data that I receive on the back end. So it's really quite easy to look at the data. No, I don't want to do that. Why did it make me log in again? They've actually started a new thing they call their enterprise level one. So I can design a new bulb, by the way, and what you do is you add a video. So if I want to just type in flipped learning, it will search for flipped learning on, say, YouTube. I was looking for a URL. All right, so let me go to YouTube. And I'm going to search for flipped learning. And here's a video on flipped learning. Common hurdles. All right, so here's a video that I helped produce with Edutopia. I just copied that URL. I paste that here. I say continue, and there's the video. I give it a title. I say title. An objective is you have to type these. And begin building. Required field, choose subtopic. All right, let's say it's physical science. That's not true. And you can, by the way, YouTube firewall bypass. If you click here, then it gets around YouTube. That's pretty awesome. I can begin building. And what I can do is I can now add questions in the middle of this video. So here's the video playing, yada, 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 yada. So I want to—
the conversation with a 6th grade teacher.
Pause, and what do you think I do? I add a question. I can choose a multiple choice question, and I can say question, and here's the answer. Oops, sorry. Answer A, whatever it is, B, and then B is the correct answer, and I say—
He said, I spent 3 weeks teaching my students how to watch a video.
And right here, this orange line is the question. That's how you build it. It's really that simple. I'm going to delete all this stuff because this is silly. Okay, I'm going to pause. What kind of questions do you guys have for me? I'm going to pause, turn it back to the monitor. So Jennifer, you like those tools. Okay. So what are some questions just about flipped in general that you guys have had? So remember, the 4 hurdles are flipping the thinking. Number 2 is training, get appropriate training. Number 3 is time. And number 4 is tech. We've kind of focused a bit on tech right now. Be recorded. I can now hear you. Okay, we got the hear thing figured out. So you like the question that you like the resources. Okay, Jennifer, good. All right, good. All right. Yeah, good point. I do make it look easy, Peggy. Good question. But, you know, again, this is that time factor. It takes time to learn how to use these tools. And, you know, as you get good at this, you will get good at this. And in fact, I don't really think I'm that good at these tools because I kind of know a little bit about all the tools. And because I work in so many environments, so I'm not completely a master of any of them because I'm not using them every day. But I know teachers who use one particular tool all the time and they love it. The one that I just used, Eric, was Educanon, educanon.com. But I would encourage you to go to flippedclass.com/tool, or pardon me, jonbergmann.com/tools. I want to make sure that's working well. John's still working on it. Yeah, and then you can like click on what's called the video interaction button, and then you can see all the tools where I compare them and which ones, because you may like a different tool than the ones I showed you. Yeah. But good question, Eric. All right, Peggy. Yeah, it's good to see you, Peggy. By the way, you're always around for stuff. Awesome. And you actually said the jonbergmann.com tools. I'm looking at the questions. All right. Yep. Tools, video interaction tools. Sure. Peggy's sharing all these tools. Wonderful. Okay. Oh, here's a good question. Which grades do you think are having the most success with flipped learning? High school. I know it's done in many grade levels. Well, the answer is I'm seeing it all the grade levels. Literally just got off the phone yesterday morning. I did an interview for my radio show. Encourage you. I have a radio show. Come listen. So go to jonbergmann.com/radio and you can listen to, I've got 40 episodes. And an upcoming episode, I interviewed this gal yesterday, Kirsty Tonks from the United Kingdom. She did a meta study with thousands of students in the United Kingdom at the elementary level, as we would say in the States, or the primary level. And they have shown crazy awesome results at the elementary classroom level. I mean, it's unbelievable what they're doing. It's kind of inner city schools in the United Kingdom, and what they are seeing is beyond amazing. And I'm probably butcher the numbers, but like using growth indicators, they're seeing growth they've never seen before. I mean, they had control groups, they had non-control groups, the whole deal. There's one school she told me about that 0% of the kids had ever scored, as we would probably say in the States, advanced in math. The focus of this particular study was on math. None had scored advanced in math. And after 3 years of the flip, now they're getting 18% of their kids scoring advanced on the whatever the UK test is. And the number of kids who are low are increasing. I mean, the thing she said that just was the greatest finding of the study was that the students at the high end, if you measure their growth, was pretty significant, but she was more excited about the fact that the kids at the low end also showed growth, because oftentimes an educational movement will show growth on sort of one end of the spectrum and not the other, but the flipped is doing both ends. And she just, I mean, she was so excited. It was amazing. And I mean, they spent, many dollars, got a big grant from the UK government to conduct this study. And in fact, I mean, if you are or are in the UK yourself, I encourage you to come. Go to flipconuk.com. I'm doing a conference. It's actually, I mean, a conference is almost as the word. It's actually more a workshop. It's an opportunity for you to go and learn how to flip your class. I mean, that whole training aspect, 2 days with me and Kirsty's team. Kirsty, I'm going to have it at her school, where you're going to just dive deep with flipped. So flipconuk.com. Encourage you to go to that. As a note, soon to be announced if you're a US person, we will also be doing more of an unconference workshop in New York, August 1st and 2nd. It's not a set yet, but pay attention. I'd encourage you to join my newsletter. Go to jonbergmann.com, sign up for our newsletter, and then when that is live, which could be in a couple of weeks, you'll have details on those kinds of things. I'm seeing it in all, let me finish the, Peggy, where it's all levels: math, science, English, social studies, English. I traveled 200,000 miles last year on airplanes. Last year I was in Dubai twice, I was in Korea twice, I was in China twice, I was in Australia 3 times, I was in Iceland. I've literally traveled all over the world. I've been to Norway and Sweden and all over this world. I'm seeing flipped working in all subject areas, all content areas, and it's working. But you've got to flip the mindset first. That's the most important thing. It works, I'm telling you folks, and now we're getting really positive data too from smart people who will have PhDs and stuff. A question from Peggy: are they publishing? You bet. Actually, that is just about to be published. Yeah, that's part of the deal. They have a big grant they have to publish, and it is. I thought it was going to be published just like last week, but there's some delay, so it will be published very soon. Anyways, great questions. Yeah, I went there too. Thanks, Eric. I don't know what that question is, so maybe you found a site. Good, people can hear me now. All right, these are the old questions. What are some other questions? I love these questions. Any questions about sort of the impact of flipped, or what kind of questions do you guys have about flipped? So there should be a question answer panel that you can do. All right, here we go. Yes, good, thank you. Peggy says it's, HTTP flipconuk.com, like FlipCon, kind of like Comic-Con. So yeah, whenever you see a FlipCon, by the way, that's something to me. I technically, I guess, from a legal perspective, own the trademark to the term FlipCon. So so if it's a FlipCon, it's always going to be something with John. So if you ever see a FlipCon. Oh, great question. Equity is important. Okay. All right. Let's talk about this. This is a wonderful question. What advice do you have to deliver content in the case where the students do not have the means to view online content? You know what? That's a big question. And that's probably one of the most asked questions I get. So great question, Chris. You know, when Aaron and I started this 10 years ago, hard to believe, 10 years ago, in rural Colorado, 30% of our students did not have the internet. 30%. So we had to solve that problem. You know what we did? For a lot of kids, they had a computer at home, or some of our kids who didn't have internet did have a computer at home but no internet. So we put the videos on flash drives and they took them home. The second thing we did is some of our students had a device. Now, when I'm speaking of a device, I am not talking about a cell phone. Back in those days, you got to think back 10 years ago, it's an iPod. They had an iPod, so they brought their iPod, I plugged it into my computer, cable, done. And then there's some kids who had none of the above, so we burned the videos onto DVDs, and they took them home and watched them on DVDs. It's really that simple. So you can make this work. Now, if I were to do this again, I don't think that's the right solution. Let me share with you, I'll go back to my screenshot, what I think actually is a pretty awesome tool. So I'm back on my website. I'm gonna go to my store. Basically, I've collected an Amazon store on my website. And my books are what I mainly sell there. But here's some Jon's hardware recommendations. I don't know if you noticed this here, but this particular, see the Tamari portable MP4 player? Do you see what, I'm just gonna click there. This is an MP4 player that looks like the old iPod Nanos. It costs $20 on Amazon. So if you were to buy, if you were to buy this for those students who need it, and I would argue, and I not just argue, I know this, most of the students in our poorest schools have access to the internet at home. There's statistics on this. This is US and Western Europe and whatnot. This may not be true if you're in Africa or something like that, but this is true in the United States. In fact, there's some data that says 95% of students in the United States have access to the internet at home. So, but there are some who don't, right? And what do you do with them? What if you bought this device, you put the videos on them, and you checked it out? You're not checking out an iPad at $500. You're checking out a $21 little device. So there's lots of MP4 players. This is just one that I like. By the way, if you buy from Jon's store, Jon gets, I figured out I get 40 cents. So it's not like I'm making you money. I'm just trying to find a resource so I can collect things that I like for people to see. So it's not like I'm gonna get rich on my website store. So, but great question. I think these are the questions that we need to definitely talk about. So great question. Other questions you got about flipped in general. So the equity question. Actually, let me share one other thing. I think I can do this. Oh yeah, here's your question. Yeah, Peggy says that the portable MP4 player is a fabulous alternative. It does look like an iPod Nano. Yeah, it looks the old iPod Nano. I think there's other ones too, by the way, that you could just search Amazon or pick your thing for MP4 player and find ones that have good ratings. I've not actually tried that particular one out, but I have, I tried to find ones that had high ratings because some of them don't have high ratings. Let me give you another option for, let's say you don't have access, kids don't have access or whatever. Let me share with you a YouTube video. I'm going to have to find it. Give me a moment. Give me a second. I find a link. I'm going to share with you a YouTube video. Here's the link. So I'm going to copy the link and I'm going to push to talk. No, play. Add videos to playlist, paste, search.
So what I've done.
So here we have Randy Brown.
Is I've decided
Well,
I'm gonna have one.
So here what he's done is half of his kids are watching a video on one, on the big computer, if you will, in the room, and then they rotate throughout the day. So the kids don't take the videos home. This is the flipping without homework model, or we like to call the in-flip. We talk about this extensively in our new book, Flip the Elementary Classroom. In fact, highlight the work of Randy Brown. Let's listen some more. By the way, that's a tool I'm a big fan of. Also, he's using a Wacom tablet to draw on the screen. That's the tool we used when we first flipped our classroom. That's the tool, and it's actually on the Amazon page. Again, I think I get 50 cents or something if you buy it. It's not a big deal. They're relatively inexpensive, like $69 or something like that. Is that girl like the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life? I love this little girl. Okay, wait a second. I think maybe we are having issues. I just saw that it's possible that nobody was hearing me. All right, I want to go back to chat. Have we lost John? Sorry, John's learning about how to do this. It says it's live. Okay, can you still hear me? All right, I want to get rid of the YouTube thing, and I just want to just go to the cameraman. Sorry, John's learning how to do this whole Google Hangouts live on air. And stop. Oh, I was trying to show you a video. I think I just get what I just did wrong. Do you guys want to try this again? Watch this video again. So were you able to, let me go back to here. No, go away. YouTube, do I turn it off? Oh, there we go. I'm assuming you can see me again. Okay. You're hearing me, but you didn't see the video, did you? Yeah. John's figuring this out. Yeah. So you didn't see the video, did you? Can somebody say, or Peggy, anybody say that they didn't see the video, or they didn't see the video? I was showing a video. Obviously that didn't work. Just couldn't see or hear the YouTube video. I think it's worth giving it a try again. I think I just screwed up. Can you now see the YouTube video? Again, John's. You're seeing, yes, hearing and seeing you, great. Yeah, but I think that's older, some of this stuff. Tell you what, let's just go back and I'll just talk about how we can do this later, and we're not gonna worry about it. Sorry about that. I think I can do that. Share, you get my screen, stop. All right. I like the YouTube video. Oh, I have to click there. All right, sorry, we're just gonna go back. John's gonna learn how to do this. John obviously is having problems with that. Not seeing video yet. Okay, let's not worry about it. Because there was a great question down here from I think it's Chris. Chris asks, if a school district is looking to implement a flip model in a controlled environment, i.e. one grade level, what grade level would you suggest and why? I think I hate to say this, Chris, that's not the right question. I would say the question is, who's the right teacher to implement it? You need to find the teacher who's ready to change their mindset. And so, but I think it's not just like one grade level or whatever, but get the right team of teachers who are ready for change. And I think it doesn't matter what the content area is. I just don't, I will say this, the vast majority of teachers, I've got some statistics, who have flipped their classrooms right now, not vast, I would say it's 65% are math and science teachers. And so I don't think that that's the only thing to flip. I know great teachers flipping in all subjects. Heck, there's coaches who are flipping. So there's lots of different things you can do to flip. So I encourage you to just kind of think outside the box. Okay. Yeah. We'll worry about the video thing later. So yeah, I'm not sure that's gonna work yet. Didn't see the video. John's got to figure out how to do this, share the YouTube video. It's got a great little feature. We can all watch a video together on YouTube. That means though, John has to figure out how to do it. So I'm not sure how to do that, obviously. All right, what are some other questions? Good, yeah, you're welcome, Chris. And don't hesitate, Chris, he says insightful, by the way. Don't hesitate to reach out to me, through my website. There's ways to get in contact with me if you're at all interested in having me help your school think through these things. I've got, this crazy experience. I mean, for me, it's been a wild ride that I get to go all over the world, visiting schools, classrooms, and seeing what flipped looks like, and training teachers, in every context, from, Korean schools to Australian schools to schools in Taiwan to England. I mean, just everywhere. And some of my observations is that schools are very similar everywhere, and yet there's also some significant differences. But the crazy thing is flipped really is working in all these contexts. And it's quite, it's a buzzword, but more than a buzzword, it really is something that's working. And so, it's awesome to see, frankly. I'm just amazed. All right. Can you share the link of the video you wanted to share? Yeah, I've got the video up in this screen. I can put it in the chat, I believe, right? So I'm going to put the link to the video I wanted to show you in the chat. Here is the link. No, I'm doing that wrong. I'm going to get good at this Google Hangouts on air someday. Chat. So can you guys, if you hover over the left bar, I think you can have the option of the chat, the blue chat kind of upper left. If you do, then you can see the links that I've shared. Or the title of the video on YouTube is Flipping the Classroom Without Homework. So pretty simple thing. Yeah. Anyways, great video clip. So I encourage you to find it with Randy Brown. It's on my YouTube channel too. So you can find my YouTube channel where else but on my website. So if you want to go to my website, click on YouTube, it'll take you to my channel. And I actually just uploaded that video today. So it's a brand new video on the web. So I actually had it on another YouTube channel and I switched to not important. But anyways, I'm consolidating all of my channels. So I don't have 2 YouTube channels and 2 email addresses. I'm trying to make life simpler for me. All right, other questions? Oh, you can't see the links. That's only available in the live Hangout. All right, so I'm not sure any ideas, Peggy, on how do I share a link with everybody? Is there a tool that I can use? This is the trick on these things, is that there's no place, a board, a Google Effects. Is there a Hangout toolbox? Showcase, what's Showcase do? Oh, it's disabled. Well, maybe that's because John didn't set things up right. I think maybe the Showcase thing would allow me to do things. Sorry, Okay, we'll just have to deal with it. You know, email me or something like that, and I can give links, or heck, follow me on Twitter. I'll just paste the link in my Twitter feed. How about that? And I'll just do it right now. So if you're on Twitter, I'll just say the class without homework. And I type the link, and I'll say ECG, EC16 class. I just put it to Twitter, and so if you're on Twitter, you can watch that right there too. So hopefully that's helpful. I haven't checked my my mentions. Anybody else? No, nobody's been doing the Twitter thing. All right, so it's on Twitter. Oh, I can post in the Q&A panel. See, Peggy, you're smarter than I am these things. How do I do that? How do questions? No, I don't know how I can. You guys can ask questions, but me as the moderator, I can't seem to paste things into the questions. I can just select the question and say done. I don't know. I've got obviously a learning curve. This is my first running a Hangout on air. I've been on some Hangouts on air where somebody else was driving all the tech, and that wasn't me. So I apologize. Now I don't know how to get rid of all the questions that I've already seen. I don't want to see it anymore. Yeah, sorry guys. Well, I encourage you. We're kind of running out of time here. If you've got some more questions, we'll just do a couple more questions, and then we're going to call it good. And now I have all the questions that I had dismissed, and I don't know what to do now. So people are liking the resources. All right. Any more questions? I think they'll appear at the top here. Liking the resources. Clearly, this wasn't a professional presentation. I'm really a pretty good presenter, but this is a new tool, the old learning curve. And when you have a new learning curve, then everything is different. So. Oh, good. Thank you. You found it. Somebody did. Excellent. Oh, yeah. I could have posted in the showcase, which I didn't turn on. I obviously didn't learn that. Okay. Got the link on Twitter. Great. Thanks, Peggy. Peggy is all over us, so Peggy's helping out. So I needed to turn the showcase on, it looks like. So, yeah, Peggy and I have done some work in the past, so she's great. I should try Blab. Is Blab a Google thing, or is it something different? Peggy. Well, all right. I think people are dropping off. I can see how many people are in, and I think they're finally said, well, it seems like John's done. Reach out to me, John at jonbergmann.com. Go to jonbergmann.com, fill out forms. There's a lot of ways to interact with me. Follow me on Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. So I encourage you to reach out to me. I'd be glad to chat some more about any questions you've got. So hope you're having a great day. It's been fun interacting with you. We'll see ya. Bye.